So you're asking me, how do I actually work as an existential therapist as opposed to working as any other kind of therapist? And the answer is difficult to give because, of course, I have worked existentially for so many years. I take it entirely for granted. And a lot of the things that I think are fundamental are things that I don't even teach anymore because I forget to teach them sometimes. And I think the first and foremost of those is that in working with somebody, what you really need to do is to connect with them. As Kierkegaard said, you have to find them where they are. You have to go out of your own center of safety towards the other person and discover where they're situated in the world, where they find themselves in relating to other people, to their world, to their own ideas and to the sense they have of who they are themselves. So you can't just take it for granted that a person knows that. And a person can't really discover who they are or how they relate to the world or how they are with other people or how they think about things or what they aim for or how they sense, life around themselves or in themselves. You can't expect them to figure that out for themselves. And when you start observing how it is in your own life, you realize how easy it is to forget about these things, how easy it is to get out of touch, how very easy it is to start living in a kind of automatic way, just following the tracks you've made before and going round and round and round and round and round and round and round again. But, every time you go round, it feels a little less interesting and you're a little bit more disconnected. So the first thing to do in existential therapy is to make sure that you are available with your client in such a way that they rethink that they re-experience that they rediscover it, that they wake up to themselves, that they wake up to their own lives. And of course you can only do that to the extent that you do it in your own life. So really, what is the most fundamental aspect of learning to be an existential therapist is learning to be awake in your own life. To be awake in your own life means to be willing to feel and to feel deeply, to be willing to be aware, to be willing to go out of your comfort zone and take risks. It is to step out into the world, do new things, meet new people, engage fully, deeply, rather than always just protect yourself and try to remain safe. Having said that, knowing how to be safe is, of course, the sine qua non of being able to go out into the world and connect. So, as always, it's a paradox. You have to be able to do both things. You have to be able to make yourself safe, to focus on yourself, to re-establish a zone of security, to find your center, to base yourself deeply in what feels right, and from that position to go out into the world, and from that position to go out and meet your client. And of course this is not a one-off. This is something you need to do over and over and over again. So minute by minute, as you are with your client, as you are with this other person who are opening up to you, who are coming to you to discover something in depth in themselves, minute to minute, you take the time to find that center of rest, that center of peace, that center of balance, that center of gravity, around which your own being circulates, around which your own being finds itself. And only to the extent you can work from that center of balance can you then go out and enable the other person to find themselves in their center of balance. And from that center of balance, they can start to describe their world in so many different flavors, so many different smells, so many different hues, so many different aspects, so many different ways in which they have to describe their world, until you can really truly understand it, participate in it, feel into it. In some ways, make it your own. Enough making it your own to be able to help the other person to begin to appreciate their world and to live really truly at the center of it in a way that allows them to go out, engage with other people and feel the safety from which they can take risks, to feel the intimacy in themselves from which they can connect to others, to feel the security in their own life, to discover the fundamental insecurity of human living, to really live in the paradox of life.